Thanks for joining the Dating with Katy podcast, where today I will be discussing my 3-3-3 rule. Now, I know you guys are like, Katy, you're so about rules, but this one is really going to help you timeline who you should and you shouldn't be spending your time with, which, hey, you can never get your time back. So I am on your team for that. And I want to make sure that you guys subscribe, push the subscribe button, send this to a friend. We all need a little bit of dating and coaching advice out there. So you know who needs this. Go send this to a friend. Also, I want to thank my sponsor, and that's Rater Dating App. Guys, this is a great new dating app that actually my 20%ers are going to love because people are held accountable for how they portray themselves and how they are on dates, where you can actually rate the person. So you can go in and see how other people have said they've chatted, how their pictures are they real, are they authentic? And I know you guys, that is exactly what you're looking for. So check out Rater Date, that's RATER.date. And make sure you download that app today. All right, you guys, also make sure you get in my network. Links are all below. By now, you should know that I'm a matchmaker. I'm always out and about matching. As a matter of fact, all my clients are in relationships right now. So now I'm like a relationship coach. But I also do coaching. I do my Wing Girl program where I will be you online. If you're tired of doing all the chit-chatting, I can pretend I'm you and I will make you authentic. So let's get into today's topic. I think what's going to be great about this is I had a DM on my Instagram, and let me read it to you because this is, the first 25 episodes of my podcast are all about getting online, doing it right, doing it well, bringing in quality people, those other 20%ers, not the 80% who are, not so quality, which I want to bring up real fast too. Rater on their Instagram, rater.date at Instagram, has quite a few stats that I think are a little bit horrifying for the reality of the dating world. And you guys are going to agree, but this is what they say. Romance scams have increased 4 times from 2016 to 2020. So if that's the rate it's increasing, it's only going to get higher. And we've all seen that Netflix series where that guy is just the scammer. It's unbelievable. They also say 35% of people lie in their profiles. We know that to be true. Lying about age, lying about location, lying about their photos. I mean, please. So again, scary thought, 55% of you think you're matching with bots. That is not a fun place to be. That is what a waste of time. And so today we're going to talk about making sure that we are, using our time wisely so we're dating the best of the best. So this was my message, and her name is Katy. What a great name. Katy left me a DM and she says, Katy, what should I know or feel 3 months into a relationship? I feel like I'm in this weird space of not knowing if he's the forever guy or not, but also I don't know if that's just pressuring myself or if it shouldn't even be there. Well, that is a great question. And I told her I'm going to put that into podcast. And I really think it has to do with my 3-3-3 kind of mentality. So today's topic is timelining the game. And my 3-3-3 rule is what's going to apply here. Now, I know you're like, Katy, dating is not a game. I don't like it when you say that. You make everyone seem like players. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I get it. But when I think about a parallel idea where I can really understand the principles of something, I think of dating like a game. And why? Let me tell you why. Because it is a skill set. You have to be good at dating to do it well. So you have to be a quality person. You have to understand how to be polite. There's so many details, and I cover those in my last couple of podcasts. So episode 24 is do's and don'ts for her on a first date. Do's and don'ts for him on a first date. Those are podcast 24 and 25. There is skill sets. There are things you should do and you shouldn't do. Just like a job interview, just like when you're playing basketball. Now, I actually grew up playing basketball. I love it. I'm a little 3-point shooter, like a little Spud Webb, but Katy Clark, right? And I remember drills, doing it over and over again, practicing. You got to practice dating. This is why I parallel it to a game. This is my word picture. So you've got to get better at dating. And this is why I have principles for dating, understanding for dating. So again, I'm going to call it a game, and we're going to think of it in game terms. You can get better. You can create a better, you can become a better basketball player by practicing, by learning, by having a coach. And this is why people coach me. They realize they're not great at dating. They're great at what they do, but they're not great at dating. Look, at the end of the day, I just recently, I love yoga. I take my hot yoga class, but I can't do one of those headstands. And I watch people do these headstands, and I realize I need to get a coach. I need to hire one person to spend time with me so that I can get better. And that is why dating is the same thing. And that's why you're listening to this podcast. You're getting that coaching. You want to get better. You want to do the dates right. You want to learn about relationships. So let's go into my timelining of relationships, you guys. And this is where I bring out my 3-3-3 rule. Now, first, you've got to make sure you can actually get a date. A lot of you can't even get a date. And that's where my foundations in my first 25 podcasts, again, they're all 15 minutes long. First 10 are about like deep personal foundations of the kind of person you should be, the kind of person you should actually be looking for. Then I go into your online profile, how to make it great, memorable, quality so you can attract the equals. And then I go into your first dates. Dinner or drinks, what should I wear, how should I behave? I also have an Instagram subscribe list where I teach these masterclasses live, you guys. So just jump over there. It's $10 a month. It's worth it. But with this timeline of your 3-3-3, it's like a clock. And we know every sports game has a clock, except for baseball, which takes forever. Baseball was not my favorite parental sport growing up. Sitting there for so long. You never knew how long it would take. So you want to make sure that these three, your first three, the first three of the three is your 3 dates. You've got to get 3 dates, you guys. So let's get the first date. On the first date, your goal is to get the second date. Now, always give somebody 3 dates. Now, if somebody was rude, if you just know the core values are not the same, which you should have already known before you went on the date. So if you just figured that out, you didn't vet very well. But you want to make sure that if somebody is good, they're like, cool, you're not totally sure yet, give them 3 dates. And ladies, I'm going to tell you, guys get really nervous. And I know I get nervous. I used to get nervous on dates. And when I get nervous, I would stutter. So that was the irony. Here I am, the talker of all talkers, and I would just stutter on a first date if I really liked a guy. But I'd also give guys multiple dates, multiple opportunities to put effort in to show me his real character, to learn more about him. And I do suggest this, guys, if you're planning the dates, which you should be, ladies, if you're directing him, these are the first 3 dates you should be doing. First one should be a dinner date. You should go to dinner, try to sit next to each other, enjoy a meal together, watch how each one behaves. Are you having fun? And are they being attentive? Those are the only 2 things you actually need to think about. Okay, don't think about, can I marry him? What are his kids like? What about his job? Ladies, stop that. Stop the overthinking. Men, you do it too sometimes, but not nearly as much. And so on this first date, I want you to be giving him the opportunity for a second date. And the second date should be fun. That's when you go to a farmer's market. That's when you go to a fair. That's when you go do something, you go on a hike. So I really think this timeline of the sequence of dating, because the third date will be the romance date. Now, if you haven't had the kiss, this is where you got to get a kiss in by the third date. Ladies go a little bit nutty. They're like, does he like me? Does he not? Usually it happens on the first or second date. But if you've been cautious and that's, you've been respectful, by a third date, if you haven't gotten a kiss in, it's usually confusing to a woman. So guys, I'm giving you a little bit of quick advice on that. So those are the first 3, right? You've got to get 3 dates in. That is key. And at that point, and at each of these points, you guys, this is where the quality people, this is where people with character, moral values can honestly take the high road and say, hey, I thought you were great, but I just don't think you're the right fit. Thank you so much for your time. And now let's say first date, it's a flop. Always send that text. And you only need to do it via text, you guys. I do not think 3 dates in, you are that connected that you have to call, because when you call, what happens is somebody wants the explanation. Well, why? What happened? And it's awkward. So just send a text and make it clear. The next thinking point, now this is the next stage of the game. This is the next period. This is the next quarter, although it's, the thirds, but the next one is at 3 weeks. Now in those first 3 dates, you're just getting to know each other. In the next 3 weeks, you should be getting to know their life. You should be seeing their car, seeing their house, knowing where they work. You should hear about their friends, maybe even meet 1 or 2 out and about. I think that's really important in those next 3 weeks. Like if they're not circling you into their life, then you kind of have to wonder, is this just for fun? Then you've got the 3-month mark. Now at each one of these marks, you're going to do the polite, this isn't working for me, or you're going to say, if this is going to work for me, I need this from you. I think that is perfectly fair. Nobody reads minds. For example, my client wants to spend more time with this guy. He is super busy. So our thought is this: he's either just too busy for her right now, he doesn't quite know how to weave a woman in at this stage in his life because he probably hasn't, or he just isn't that into her. But it could be any one of those three. And the middle one, where he really likes her, he's just not great at weaving women in. And that's common. These alpha males are out there busting their buns, working. They're not, and they already have schedules, and they're either seeing their kids on some nights. So it's a little bit hard. You've got to give someone space and time. I always call it space and grace to adjust for you. They can't adjust, though, if you haven't communicated that. So I told her, you need to communicate. Hey, when do I get to see your cute mug again? Mug meaning face. We need a makeout session soon. Make it fun and flirty. Make it so that he knows you want to see him more without being a nag and uber so direct that it's uncomfortable for him. So instead of her saying, I want to see you more often, but you're really not making time, or can you make more time for me? Again, we created a really fun and flirty, hey, when do we get to have makeout sessions? Like, let's put them on the calendar. She said they have such fun makeout sessions. I think it's cute. It works for that relationship. You've got to keep it light in the beginning. Ladies, when you come on too hard with these expectations, guys will pull away and they won't want to date you. And then you've lost your opportunity. And I know some of you will say, well, Katy, then he's not the one. He doesn't really understand. His EQ is low. No, you're just too much too soon. And yes, you can be too much too soon. You're a great person, but just because you're thinking it doesn't mean you need to, be so directive that it's slightly rude. So ladies, let's keep that in mind. That can go both ways as well, you guys. So the next season would be at 3 months. So by then, you should definitely have maybe even had an overnight, perhaps, a little vacation. And again, if those are not your core values, then don't do those, of course. You should be meeting their families, hearing more about their kids, maybe not meeting them yet. You two will decide on that. But definitely meeting a friend by then, definitely being invited into the circle. And if that's not happening, you need to reevaluate. You can't wait for them to reevaluate. You need to reevaluate. So what does this look like, Katy? So that's the timeline. And of course, sometimes people don't even see each other much within 3 weeks. So 3 weeks is just a term of the next length. What about this, though? And this is what I use as a relationship detector here. So you've got 3 dates, 3 weeks, 3 months, but in that season and process, you should be doing these 3 things. Okay, ready for this? First one is you guys are just dating. You're dating, you've gone on 3 dates, maybe you're at the 3-week mark and you're still just dating. You're just dating, no one's talked about being exclusive, no one's gotten off the apps. So that's when you move into seeing somebody. So now you're ready to just see this one person. And I call this seeing someone. So when you're dating, you're free to date multiple people. They are free to date multiple people. When one of you, and gentlemen, I am going to suggest to you that this be you be the leader in this, is ready to see just her, okay? Again, we want men to lead. You say, I want to see you and just you. So I'm going to get off the dating apps. And you give her some space and time so that she can decide that as well. So guys, you have declared that you want to see her and her alone, and you're giving her space and time to weave that into her life unless she is ready and willing and so excited. She might have a few more dates. You might have had a few more dates that you had to finish out or close up. That is fair, okay? From that, now that you are exclusive, you are seeing each other, okay? That is a good space to be. That's where I think 3 weeks, between the 3 weeks and the 3-month mark is when that should happen. And again, men, please lead on that. Women are dying for you to lead on that. We want to be wanted. Then we move into DTRing, and that is determining the relationship. That's legit. That is, I'm your boyfriend, I am your girlfriend, we are together. We aren't just seeing each other and still trying this out and working through, meeting friends and whatnot. This is, I'm serious. I'm serious because you're quality and you're great, and I know the market. And guys, I know the market. I work in the market. It's not great out there. So when you see something that's fabulous, ladies, when a guy is adoring you and so great, I don't care if he's balding, get over it. I don't care if he's a little shorter than you think. If he adores you, try it out. I wish more people would try relationships. They just keep going back. They just keep going back to being single, back to the apps, back to dating because they think there's something better. And guys, I'm going to tell you, it's hard out there. So let's talk about rolling into that third month, just like Katy asked me. Katy, what does that look like? Well, you know what? In games, there's always a winner. And I think that looks like winning to me. That when you've gotten to that 3-month mark, when you've gotten to a DTR, when you've gotten to these levels of actually getting a first date, getting a second, and then getting a relationship, great job. You're a winner. Okay, that is a win in this day and age of dating. And winners, winners in sports, winners are hard workers. And just like winners in dating, this is what it's going to look like. And this is the direct answer to her question. Katy, what should it look like? How should I feel? Number one, Katy, I want to tell you, date him. Try for a while and date him. Look, it's not going to be Disney feelings. That is ridiculous. But is he doing these things and does he make you feel safe? And this is what I believe both sides should feel in that stage of dating when they've decided to win and go for a relationship. You guys should feel that there is good communication. By then you should have detailed your communication and how you like it. You guys should feel safe. You guys should know that when they're out on a night with their friends, you don't have to worry. There are ways to do that. That will be another podcast. You guys should both be excited to learn about each other. And if you're not excited to learn about him and you really don't care, then you're not that into him. That's the honest truth. You guys should both be making time together. And if that's not happening, they're probably not that into you or they can't really give you that right now. So these are all winning parts of a relationship. And that's what you should be looking for, Katy. And that's what I hope you guys are looking for as well. I hope you're giving people a chance to date. You're looking for the quality people and you're practicing. You're out there building your dating skill set. Thanks for listening, you guys. Make sure you subscribe. I want you confident, successful, and have some fun dating. So I will see you next time.